Okay, so hey guys, welcome back to Choosing Recovery. I'm Olivia, and today's topic is gratitude. I'm going to have everybody go ahead and introduce themselves. So, Tiffany, if you want to jump on real quick and introduce, go ahead.
Hey, hi, I'm Tiffany. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic and drug addict from Alabama, and I'm just very grateful to be here.
Thanks for being here. Leanne, you can go ahead.
Leanne, I'm an addict and an alcoholic. I'm from Tennessee, and I'm grateful to be here also.
Awesome. I'm glad that we could jump on tonight. I know that we ended up missing last week, but I literally needed a mental health day badly. So it was very much needed. I'm glad that we're able to get together this week. So, yeah, the topic is gratitude. And I'm just going to jump right into it because I think that it's pretty interesting. My home group, I'm a very grateful recovering addict. Like I have so much gratitude. And they always say it's an action word, right? Like it's not it's an action word caused by a feeling, right? So like you have to show that you're actually grateful for something, right? Which I learned in the program, but I've always had gratitude, I shouldn't be alive today. And I knew that getting into recovery that I know that we all have really big stories, but that lifestyle, it escalates so quickly. And it's just like I honestly didn't think the drugs were going to kill me. I thought it was the lifestyle. And as fast as I was getting into the fast life and everything, just dangerous. So my gratitude was huge, and I remember getting to the rooms like, oh my gosh, I'm alive today, let me give back to everybody. And I bring it up often. I am very grateful to be alive. I'm very grateful to be able to do what we do. It's a passion of ours. But a lot of people are like, I have to force myself to be grateful. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, just me personally, like, I am so grateful for recovery in general because I shouldn't be here,
Yeah.
I totally agree, 100%. Like, when I saw what the topic was for today, I was really excited because I just got done with a week-long sobercation because we went to Gulf Shores to celebrate my husband's first year of sobriety. He had his first anniversary on the 16th.
Yeah!
It was so much fun, but y'all, the last time I was at the beach, I was so high. I was tripping on Ambien. I remember I was answering questions nobody was even asking me with my mother and father-in-law and my kids. Like, I mean, just acting, oh, I'm fine. What? No, I'm not okay. So, like, actually being able to experience a family vacation sober, and it's Father's Day, and my family's back together, and my kids are not scared of my husband anymore, and, like, I actually have one that's, worth something now, you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, but, like, that lifestyle, you don't realize when you're in it how different it is from the normal people's lives. Like, I wasn't having to worry about being dope sick this time. I wasn't having to worry about, oh, are they going to find my stash in the condo? Are they going to, am I going to nod out while we're watching a movie? We got to have family game night, and we got to ride a banana boat. And I lost my voice. But even in losing my voice, that really showed me, oh my God, how grateful am I for my voice? Because I talk all the time, and I sing all the time. So, like, I've just been honestly overwhelmed with how grateful I am because, like, the whole time it was all about just him. It was all about him. And for the first time, like, I realized, like, okay, I don't have a problem with that. Even if it's not all about Tiffany, I don't have a problem with that because I'm so grateful that we're here.
Yeah.
Just don't get me wrong, we like it to be about us. We do. Even in recovery, it happens. Like, if it's not about me, then, like, so I have to watch myself with that, but that really just showed me, oh my gosh, you can actually be grateful for something that's not about you, and you can be selfless without thinking about it, and it's just like the gifts that we get from recovery, they just don't stop. Like I'm rocking on 3 years sober, and I still continually get all different kinds of gifts from my recovery, and I'm so unbelievably grateful I can't even put it into words. But if you forget about that, like, there's a difference in living in the past and not forgetting the past. Because I don't ever want to forget that. Just like you were talking about, I should be here talking to you guys. I shouldn't. I should be dead. And so should my husband. But guess what? God had other plans, and we're alive, and we're raising our kids sober. And I never thought that would happen.
Yeah.
But, you know, it did. And I'm so grateful to be sober today. I really am. And for my kids to have sober parents. Because they deserve that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know, I was told a grateful addict will never relapse.
Yes!
You know? And
I was just going to say that.
Like, so for me, and this is one of my friends, Megan, said, you know, she wakes up every day with such gratitude for everything, you know, and that's a huge part of mine, you know, like y'all, I could have been dead out there. I could have everything. And, you know, I just lost my papa. If this had been, you know, even a year ago or that, and it's not just my addiction, it was my mental health too. If I had not been where I'm at, you know, I wouldn't have been able to be there. I wouldn't have been able to be there for my family, and I have so much gratitude. And it's not, don't take it like I'm grateful my grandfather passed. I'm not. He's in a better place. But I am grateful that I got to be present with my family. And, you know, there's situations that came up that the old me or the high me would have flipped out over, but it wasn't about me for once.
Yeah.
It was about, you know what I'm saying? And I was homeless before. You know, I have been hungry. Sorry, I'm in this old school.
You're okay.
I'm not. But, you know, so I wake up and I'm grateful that I have a bed to sleep in because I didn't before, and that I have food, and that I have, you know, my sanity back, because I was insane. I don't know about y'all, but I was flipping crazy. And I still am. But, you know, that is, I make gratitude lists all the time because I can get pissy and be like, you know, start complaining, and then my sponsor will be like, okay, we need a gratitude list. And I'm like, oh, and you know, it's the little things, and it's grateful that my higher power thought I was worthy enough to stay here, because trust me, I tried to not be here. You know, so gratitude is just a huge part of my stuff. And I'm grateful for my family and y'all. And I really appreciate you checking on me, Olivia.
Yeah, of course. I'm glad, like, you know, even just like the small podcast that we do, and I know that our YouTube channel is growing, you know, but it's like this right here is what I love, is the fact of this is my, like, gratitude to be involved with you ladies, because this is a community, and I want people to know, like, if you're out there, like, we have a Facebook group. Definitely just message us. My email is always down in the description, and get a hold of us, because we all support each other. We're calling each other, texting each other, yeah, and but we're there for each other, and I think that's what's huge. And both of you touched on really great, I think it's so important to know, is gratitude takes you outside of yourself. You both had said, well, I was so grateful in this moment, and it had nothing to do with me. And I think that's huge to understand, like, gratitude does take you outside of yourself. And, oh my gosh, I remember, like, coming home from jail and rehab, and I was sitting in my bedroom, and I woke up, and the sun was coming through the window, and it was like 6 o'clock in the morning. Oh my God, I was bawling my eyes out. Like, I had a drug dream, and I woke up in a panic, like, where the fuck am I? Like, thinking that I just used. And I woke up in my room, and I just burst into tears. Like, I'm in a home that has walls and a window and, like, a bed with comforters. You know what I mean? Like, but and then all of a sudden, like, that turned to, like, I saw the sun for the first time. Like, it just is, that sounds crazy, but I felt the warmth of the sun. I was able to see, like, the sparkle in the snow up here. And I just think it's like, I don't know. And, like, today we were out to eat for Father's Day. And I'm sitting there and it's beautiful out. And my son's sitting here just talking up a storm in the restaurant. And I'm laughing. And we're having a good time. And it hit me. I'm so grateful that in that moment, I wasn't fiending for drugs. That I wasn't trying to worry about how to get my next fix or where do I need to go. And I sat there with myself for a second. I was like, that's something to be so fucking grateful for. Because today, I get to be me. And I don't have to worry about those outside issues. And like, then I pulled myself back in and I was able to see my family. You know, and I'm over 4 years in my recovery. Like, holy fuck. What? Like, life is, there's always a moment to find gratitude in it. You know, it's wonderful if you allow it to be, right?
And if somebody had told you that when you were like 1 or 2 days sober, you'd be like, okay, sure. You
I probably would have punched him in the face.
Right?
Yeah,
that's
and I'm like,
me. I got to give Chris his 1-year chip. I got to give it to him, and it was metal instead of plastic. And I was like, you know, I said this little speech or whatever about how proud I was of him, and I got to give it to him there with our family. And you know, I never thought I'd be able to do that, and I also never thought that I would be so excited and so grateful for somebody else's recovery. Because you don't realize how much your recovery impacts those around you. I know I didn't, and I probably still don't, you know, to the real extent of it, because my husband's sobriety changed my entire life. Because he's not out on the streets being stupid anymore, while I'm at home trying to stay sober myself, you know. But I like what we touched on about the mental health too, because I suffer from mental health issues, specifically like bipolar depression and really bad ADHD. Also, Olivia, you need to put a disclaimer on that callback thing that you're talking about. It's like 5 to 7 business days for you to call.
You right.
I know. But like, you know, when just recently I had been dealing with some severe depression, a severe depressive episode. And it wasn't honestly just like the last couple of weeks that I've been able to come out of that, because we had to have a med change, and you know, sometimes that's necessary. But even in the deepest part of my depression, like, I was like, okay, you're in your head, you need a gratitude list. And even when my body and my brain was not wanting to cooperate with what I wanted it to do, I could, you know, there are times where I do have to force myself to be grateful. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't happen often, but when you deal with mental health issues, like, you're like, I know I'm supposed to be grateful, I know I am grateful, but I'm not acting like it. Just like Lydia was talking about, it has to be an action word. Mm-hmm. And when you're laying in the bed so depressed, all you're doing is watching Grey's Anatomy on repeat that you've been watching for 3 hours and like, whatever. That's not a very good action. That's not showing that you're grateful for anything, you know. But you know, you need mental health days. Like, I just had a mental health week. It was fabulous.
It was a great time.
But you know, like, before we wouldn't have money for a vacation. Before we would have went to Dove, or his parents would have paid for it or something. It wouldn't have been nothing we could do. This was the first vacation we've ever been on that we fully paid for. And that's such a big accomplishment, coming from, okay, what are we pawning today so we can go get some dough? So, like, it's just amazing to me. And if somebody had told me that I would have been in Gulf Shores with my whole family, like, having the time of my life, a couple days after I overdosed and almost died and finally got sober, I would have laughed in their face. I would have been like, what are you talking about? They all hate me right now. But time really does heal things. But it's the work that you have to put into it in the time that's what makes the biggest difference. To me, anyway.
Yeah. So is it okay? My sponsor just showed up.
Oh, of course. Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Yeah, of course. You can jump right off. Thanks for jumping on tonight.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Yes, if you ever want to jump on, you feel free.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I will.
Awesome, Leanne. Have a great night. Are you guys going to a meeting right now?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay. Thanks.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So I actually think it's pretty important to, you touched on mental health, and I wanted to say something about it. Oh, me and Scott talked about it the other day. And I said, it's so weird about my mental health, and I've never, like, in my recovery was the first time I ever got to look at myself from a clear point of view. Like, I actually got to understand who I am and things like that. Which I never, it's crazy to think about how I was living prior to recovery, because, like, now I know myself, you know what I mean? But now, like, my mental health is so unbelievably, like, it's insane. It's the insane part of that wraps into with addiction, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was so crazy. The other day I went to go get inventory for our business, and I'm driving to the store, and I was by myself, and I sang all the way there, and I had a blast, because I haven't done that with the baby in the car. Finally, on the way home, all of a sudden, I was like, you need to cut yourself. You're numb. You can't feel anything. You're numb. You can't feel anything. And I literally started an argument in my head with myself, and I was like, that makes no sense. Like, you can feel things, Olivia. Like, what do you mean? You feel everything, right? And I'm like, no, I'm numb. You're numb. You need to cut yourself, make sure you can feel stuff. And I'm like, you can legitimately feel things. So, like, but I was getting so worked up, because I think that's what people don't understand. Like, my mental health, there's a logical side, and then there's an emotional side. And the emotional side, I say often, it rules your life, and it can be very damaging. Yeah. And it's so hard to live in an emotional state of mind, and continue to live like that.
Well, you don't make decisions clearly when you do that.
No. And, like, it's crazy. Like, I came home, and I was just like, I was a wreck, and there was a part of me that's like, you just need to walk away and go cry in a room by yourself. And I was like, I can't do that. Like, I can't, because I know it's not going to lead to anywhere good. So,
right.
I go in there, and Scott's watching TV, and I just sat down on the couch, and I started crying, and he was like, are you okay? I'm like, no, like, this is what I'm going through. And he's like, okay, and I was like, I just need to tell you, because secrets keep you sick, right? And I know if I didn't say something, I was going to be cutting myself in a couple days or whatever, because I would let it override. But it's crazy to think that that's the mental health, right? Like, you argue with yourself, but then that one voice that is so damaging can be so loud, and it's on repeat. Like, it just repeats itself, and then eventually you start to believe it, and that's, like, I had to put an end to it. And I'm so glad that me and my husband are where we're at today, because, whew.
Girl, yes, because, like, I'm glad it ain't just me having arguments with myself. That makes me feel better. Because, like, I'll be in my head, okay, you have to remember this. My thing is, like, one of the only real things that I struggle with as far as, like, physically and mentally as a result of my addiction is short-term memory loss. And it's debilitating. I feel like an Alzheimer's patient sometimes. I really do. Like, I constantly have to set reminders on my phone. I constantly have to set reminders for everything.
Yeah.
Calling people back, texting people back, sending emails, work stuff, kid stuff, making my kids' doctor's appointments. And then, like, if I forget, it's like, oh, well, you just didn't care about that. No, it's my mental health. And if you don't understand, like, if you've never dealt with it, it's so hard to explain that to somebody. Well, why can't you just make a list? Why can't you just use a planner? Because I have severe ADHD and I forget where I put the planner. Like, it doesn't work if I don't have it. So then I got a big giant one, and it's too bulky to carry around. But if I can't see it, then I forget where it is. So, like, I mean, it's hard. And, making time for yourself It's so important, and I'm learning that it's okay for me to take mental health days, because I'm just going to be really real about some stuff right now, because I feel like I just need to.
Of course.
When I was using DHR, literally, even if there was no drug use, they could have come and took my kids for how my house looked.
Yeah.
And whether we like it or not, most of the time, at least I know in the South, that's a reflection on the woman in the house. Most of the time, even still. And so it was like, well, you don't care about this, because if you did, you would get up and you would clean. Or you would get up and you would do whatever. You don't care about your kids. Like it was bad. I was terribly embarrassed of it. But at the same time, depression, addiction, all the other stuff had me so paralyzed, I couldn't do anything. But now, I mean, my house isn't like eat off the floor clean. It's lived in. I have 2 kids, you know. But I don't put as much pressure on myself anymore. Like, I'm learning to give myself some grace, because I've found that I'm harder on me than anybody else is.
Yeah.
And, you know, you have to be able to take a step back from yourself and be like, okay, if this was somebody else, how would you handle it?
That's a good way to do it.
If you were talking to somebody else, and saying, if one of your best friends in the world came to you with this problem, what would you say to them? It probably wouldn't be yelling at them, and it probably wouldn't be telling them that they weren't good enough, and it probably wouldn't be telling them that they're a piece of crap mom, or a piece of crap wife, or a piece of crap person. You wouldn't do that to your friends because you love them. But oftentimes, we do that to ourselves.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? Why can't you get up? Why can't you get out of bed? Why can't you remember anything? Why can't you, you know, do what you say you're going to do without forgetting something that is important? You know, I think sometimes we just have to remember to give ourselves a little bit of grace.
And I think that's what, like, it ties, like, the gratitude, I think, ties so well into what we're on right now for a topic, because mental health is, like, self-care and self-love are 2 different things, but they're both gratitude towards yourself, right? And I think a lot of people, like, they mix up the 2, but, like, self-care is like the face mask, getting your nails done, working out, doing those things. Self-love is when you have to cut off toxic people from your life and remove yourself from dangerous or shitty situations, or exercise. Like, that's self-love, is to continue to push yourself somewhere outside of your comfort zone that is good for you. That's self-love, right? And I think that doing these self-care days and self-love days is so important for mental health, and that's almost a gratitude back to ourselves. And I had to, like, when I took it off last week, I was like so, like, I was arguing with myself, woohoo, again, but I was like so back and forth, because I was like, well, it's only an hour. I can just jump on real quick. It'll be a great time with the girls. I'm going to have a couple girls on there. You know, it'll be a good conversation. I don't even have to say anything, you know. Like, if there's enough people on there, I could just sit there. But then I was like, no, Olivia. It's an hour that you could give to yourself. And I struggle with that. I think a lot of us do, especially being the women, the mothers. It's hard, and like that's why on the way there I was singing and blaring in the car, because that's something that's hard to come by. Now I've taught myself that that's something I enjoy. I just started doing it like 2 days ago. I have the baby in the back seat, my husband up front. I roll the windows down a little bit, and I turn up my music loud enough to where I think that it's, you know, it's not damaging or anything. But to do that, like, I literally had to talk myself in from last Sunday to not do it. And eventually I was like, you know what? I don't owe anybody an explanation. What I'm doing with my gratitude and what I can do for the community and give back, I do a lot, you know? And I think that having one day to yourself is really not going to, you know, like, it's important to put yourself first, like you said, you know, so I was actually proud of myself.
A lot of the time, too, I struggle with, like, the line between self-love and self-care and selfishness. Because I do feel like for me there is a line there because that is one of my character defects is I can be selfish sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, is there some, because I always have something to do. Always. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I have the house. I have the kids. I work, you know. So it's like, with me, it's, okay, I've got to schedule mental health days. Like, I've decided that I'm putting them in my planner, if I can keep up with it, for once a month, at least, minimum. I'm going to take a day off work. One day a month, I can afford that, you know? But at the same time, I feel so guilty because there's always something I should be doing. I love to paint. I paint. I haven't painted in a long time.
Aww.
And I want to, but it feels like I always have something else that I need to do. Laundry needs to be done. This needs to be done. So on my mental health days, that's what I do. I like to do acrylic paintings on canvas and stuff. But as far as like not owing anybody an explanation, you totally do not owe anybody an explanation for your mental health day.
Yeah.
And I think even the people just watching this don't realize how much work and effort and how much this is your baby. I don't really think people understand that because, like, yeah, you were talking about it is just an hour, but it's not just an hour for you because if you're anything like me, which, you know, we're all crazy, so yeah, a little bit, it's not just an hour. It's the text messages. It's getting them set up. It's getting, you know, making sure girls are going to be on here so you're not all by yourself. It's making all of those things. So, like, it's not just an hour.
You're going to make me cry.
No, seriously. We tell ourselves that, okay, it's just this. I can get it done because I can do all the things. Like,
and, like, to not, I don't know, there was a couple weeks, that I was out here by myself, and, like, I was just, like, I was, like, petrified, because I thought it was me,
right.
And, like,
no.
And, like, some of the girls, like, when I did my last message, they don't want to be a part of it, or they never answered me, so I was like, is it me? Like, no. And I'm a freak about that. You know how we say we're, like, the hardest people?
It be like that sometimes with us, because it's always about us.
So I'm freaking out, and I'm like, oh my God, it's me. Like, nobody wants to do a podcast with me. Like, anybody could do it. They could literally reach out to me from Neverland, and I would be like, yo, get on, right? Like, and I always, like, tell people that. No, man. And then Scott does the men's, and they have, like, 8, 12 men, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, so I was like, but I really, like, I thought it was me, and I felt, like, just you recognizing that, I do appreciate that, because it's a lot of work to put into the YouTube channel, and, like, a lot of people don't know that, and it's fine, like, I don't need people to know that, but I appreciate you recognizing, like, it is a lot of effort to do these kinds of things.
Just getting the people together. If you think you're just trying to get normal people together, you're trying to get together a whole bunch of recovering addicts with mental health problems.
Woo! True that.
It's like you have a big old box of squirrels and you're just trying to get them to stay in a row and nobody will do anything that you want.
That's funny. That's true. You know, it really is.
But don't put too much pressure on yourself about it because this is helping people. It really is. And, like, it's not you, because you're awesome.
Oh,
it's just like what I was saying before. If I came to you and I said, Olivia, nobody wants to do my podcast. Is it me? Do you think it's me? Why would anybody want to do one with me? What would you tell me?
That you're crazy?
Of course it's not you.
I would say it's probably them, yeah.
So think about that with stuff, like not being so hard on yourself.
I thought it was like, and that's like, it's crazy though, because like then there's people like that I thought, I don't know, like I was just like, did I say something? Like I don't want to ever, like that's the thing, and I think it's me, of course, like you said, like I'm the hardest critic on myself, but then like I replay everything, I'm like, is it me? Like I really hope it's not me.
And they're not even thinking anything else about it, and you're sitting there replaying it. I do that too. It's like, oh
You're
my
right.
God, that one thing I said 2 months ago, I'm still thinking about it, and that other person hasn't even given
I love you, Tiff.
a thought.
I love you. You
I
seriously,
love you,
no, like, because I was like, oh my God, it has to be me. Like,
Mm-mm.
there's nothing else, right?
No, and honestly, I would have been on here more, but like, with it being at 1, that's 12 my time, so we're just getting out of church then.
Yeah. And I
So
definitely
like,
think,
this is perfect. I could do this every week.
and and that's what I think, I think if I put it to the 8 p.m., it will
Yeah.
be way better for a lot of people, because this
So their
is,
kids will be in the bed and all that kind of stuff.
right,
you
like
know?
that's what it is for me, and I know that, some people might have home groups on Sunday, but this could be like a meeting, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know, I hope that now, like, playing it out at 8 p.m. will be a lot better, and we'll get more people on here. I mean, I'm not really worried about it. I know that we're making an
Yes,
impact.
you are.
Yeah.
I gotta call you out. You know I do.
Shut up. Nobody asked you.
But that's okay, because that just shows how much you care about it.
Well, it was
It's
just that
okay.
one, and I don't mean to do this on live, but maybe that's not appropriate, but it was that one time when we had a topic that I couldn't relate to, and somebody
Yeah.
got on looking for that topic, and getting, like, relatable information from, and I was crushed. I can only show my experience, and how I avoided that certain situation, but I never went through it, and I don't know, you know what I mean? I can show you how to avoid it, but that doesn't mean anything if you're going through it. You know what I mean? Like, you're
Yeah, but
already
at the
in the
same
midst of
time,
it.
what good would it do people for you to speak on something that you don't have a personal experience in?
Oh, I was
Because
crushed.
as
It was
recovering
hard for me,
addicts-
but, you know, I did
well,
what I
us
could.
as recovering addicts, we can spot somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about a mile away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, literally.
Like, we can. If you got somebody that's never been in addiction come to talk to a whole group of addicts, they know off the rip that you're not
Yeah.
you don't know what you're talking about. So like, you would be doing somebody a disservice
Yeah.
to
It
talk
was,
about a topic that you don't have experience with, and that's with anything.
yeah.
But I think control is something that is so hard, even involving gratitude. Like, I want to be able to control the things that I'm grateful for. I want the things that I want to happen in my life to come, so I can be like, yes, that's awesome. I want this, I want that, you know? Like, whether it be material or otherwise. You know, like, we want to control everything.
You're so smart. You're so wise.
What?
You are. Like,
That's
you
so
just said
sweet.
everything, you know, and it's just, gratitude is, like, especially today, I don't, it's just crazy because, like, we're not small. I don't want to say that. I always watch what I say because I think it's important to, like, at least try to think things through. But I think, like, we started almost a year ago. In 2 months, it's going to be a year since we started this. And the amount that we've grown, like, it may be so small right now, and I don't know if I want to use that word, but, like, the amount of support, the amount of emails that we've gotten from people saying, hey, you helped me, or I have a loved
Right.
one, and, like, that impact of being able to give back and, like, help people is, like, that is the gratitude. That's what makes me want to wake up every
Right.
day and be involved in this community, you know?
Do you know how, like, aligned everything had to be for me from all the way down here in Alabama to find you on TikTok, and because I had just started using it, and then one day when I'm about to be stupid after my friend dies, I have this whole network of women that I can go to and be like, hey, my insanity's kicking in, I need to talk to somebody. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, it doesn't matter if you're big or if you're small. It matters about the impact that you have on people, because, like, literally, y'all could have helped me from a relapse.
Tiffany.
Seriously. And if it helps one person, if anything I ever say helps one person, then it's enough. Period. Because everybody's life matters. Just like I was talking about, you don't realize what your sobriety, the effect that your sobriety has on those around you. Family, friends, acquaintances, school, it doesn't matter. Like, you don't realize how important you are to others until you're not able to be there for them because you're in addiction.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how important mine was until I finally got sober, and all these people are like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of you, I'm supporting you. Like, we live in a really small town, and everything's everywhere. Everybody knows everything. Plus, I'm just loud about it because I refuse to let somebody suffer in silence because I can't tell my story. Because if I'm going to talk, I might as well talk about something important.
Yeah. We want you. We want you.
Matter.
Yeah, we want you to get on. I emailed you forever ago. I want you to get on and share your story. And then if your husband wants to, I want him to too. I think that.
Listen, I have over 50,000 unread emails on one of my email accounts.
Girl, you're over here like, yeah, just email it to me. That was 3 months ago. The hell? What the hell's wrong with you?
So I can't say nothing to you about this. I'm just starting business today.
Wow.
But yes, we will do that. Holy crap, I totally forgot. See, I forgot. Oh, you.
What are we gonna do?
I don't know. We're gonna do something. I'm gonna do it. We're gonna take.
You know what would be cool? Because I definitely related to you, and I know that we're completely off topic now, but well, kind of. When you talked about painting for your mental health days, what would you think about getting that on our YouTube channel, and we'll Zoom with a bunch of people?
Oh my God, yes!
Because I love that shit. And I think it would be so cool to, like, Zoom, like, just, even if we played, like, music or, like whatever.
Distance strokes for sober people.
What the fuck?
Yes, I'm in.
What the fuck?
I'm so in.
I think that would be...
coffee and some paint. Absolutely.
You know, and then we can show our shitty masterpieces. You're probably really good at painting. I'm horrible. But I like doing
I'm
it.
not awful, but I'm not Picasso either. Like,
I bet you are. I bet you are.
I'll send you some of my stuff. Let you decide.
Hello? Oh my goodness. Okay, thank you. Is she still on? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. That was my husband. He said to check out the comments. And right here we got Lisa is saying, can anybody help me? So, Lisa, are you still...
What's going on?
Yeah, are you still on? Are you still watching right now? I'm sorry about that. We got kind of all over the place.
See, I can't see any of the comments.
Yeah, I know. And I wish...
I'm just on Zoom.
I think that you would be able to pull it up somewhere else, but that's probably... Oh. If you're still... Oh, nobody's on anymore. Oh, I'm so sorry. If you are, if you do ever need any help, we do always have our email down below in our description. I'm sorry that I missed Lisa just now. I wish that I could have helped and we are still available, so just reach out to our email. But, Tiff, thanks for jumping on. I think I'm going to...
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think I'm going to wrap it up tonight. I'm going to text you about the painting thing. I think we can come up with a really good idea about that.
I'm down.
So,
I have an easel and everything if I can put it together.
Yeah. What?
I know what for Christmas it is still the box.
Yeah.
It'd be like that with me.
Oh, I feel horrible right now. See, I'm gonna get all hard on myself because
I wish I could sit. Next time I'll have my my computer set up too, so I can see it and help you, kind of like a moderator or something.
Oh, moving up in the world. Oh, Lisa, you just messaged. Oh, thank gosh.
Yay.
Okay.
Yay.
I'm struggling with my addiction. I really want to stop using. Wow. So I'm so proud of. And I'm so proud of you for reaching out. Lisa, it's very... it can be very hard to come out and be honest about this, and I think just breaking the ice right here is amazing. What I can do, Lisa, is you can email me. It's down below, and I can get you set up with some different places in your town or wherever you're close. We do have meeting lists online. Whatever you feel is where you want to start. We started this YouTube channel so people can find their own recovery. We speak on what works for us, but we totally support anybody and everybody, whatever their recovery may look like. So just start wherever you're comfortable. Definitely email us. I would love to get you connected to different places from where you're around. Don't put it here like where you're from, though, Lisa. Just email me. Yeah, do you have anything you want to say to that? She's just struggling.
I just think that it's phenomenal that in the age that we live in, that people can reach out like this and it be impersonal. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something you have to show your face, you have to do whatever, because especially when you're trying to get clean, there's so much shame and stigma and disappointment and just everything that surrounds it, that's a lot of the time what keeps people from reaching out for help. And I think that this format is phenomenal for that, and I am just grateful that I could be a part of it.
I love you, Tiff. I do.
I love you too.
Yeah, Lisa, I would definitely just start where you're comfortable. You know, seek out things. I'm glad you reached out to us. I think this is my moment of gratitude. You know, things like this is being able to get back to somebody that is clearly showing signs that they're ready. You know.
Absolutely.
You're in
That's what it's about. That's what we do this for.
Yeah, you're in my thoughts. I hope that you email us, Lisa, and just stay safe and know that you are worth it and you are loved. Believe it or not, you are loved.
You are very loved.
So yeah, I hope you email us, and we're gonna jump off. We do this every Sunday at 8 p.m. So email me, and we'll see you next week if you want to jump back on. So thank you, Tiff. I'm gonna text you about the painting.
Sounds good.
All right, have a good one.
Okay, you too. Bye.
Bye.